He had power, money, and total control. Love? He hated it. Then she walked into his company, didn't notice him, and made one decision that would destroy the wall he built. But he wasn't ready for what it would cost him. Before we continue, please subscribe. Follow my story until the end and comment the city you're watching from so I can see how far my story has reached. Marcus Hale didn't believe in love. Not anymore. He believed in contracts, in quarterly earnings, in things you could measure and control. At 52, he built an empire. Hale Industries owned 17 companies across 4 continents. His net worth had 9 zeros. His schedule was blocked out in 15-minute intervals. Love wasn't on it. He stood at the floor-to-ceiling windows of his Chicago office, 40 stories above the street. The city stretched out below him like a game board. Buildings he owned, roads he'd helped fund, a skyline he'd helped shape, everything in its place. His assistant knocked twice. She never came in without knocking twice. "The new hire is here," she said. Marcus didn't turn around. "Which one?" "The operations analyst, Claire Morgan." He nodded once. She left. Marcus had approved the hire 3 weeks ago. He approved every hire above a certain pay grade. He'd read her resume in 90 seconds. Stanford MBA, 8 years at a competitor, strong recommendations, no red flags. She was qualified. That's all that mattered. Claire Morgan walked into Hale Industries at 8:45 on a Monday morning carrying a leather portfolio and a nervous stomach. She was 43 years old. She'd been fired from her last job 6 months ago. Not for performance, for politics. Her boss had been replaced, and the new one had brought his own team. She'd spent those 6 months applying to 72 positions. This was the first offer. She couldn't afford to mess it up. The office was exactly what she expected. Glass, steel, clean lines, people moving with purpose. No one looked up as she passed. HR walked her through paperwork for an hour. Benefits, policies, confidentiality agreements. She signed everything without reading it too carefully. She needed this job. At 10 o'clock, they brought her to her desk. Open floor plan. Dozens of people typing, talking quietly into headsets, studying screens. Her supervisor was a woman named Janet, mid-30s. Sharp suit, sharper tone. "You'll report to me?" Janet said. "I report to division heads. Division heads report to Mr. Hale. You'll probably never meet him. He doesn't come down here." Claire nodded. "Understood. Your first project is on your desktop. Cost analysis for the Detroit acquisition. I need it by Friday. I'll have it Wednesday." Janet looked at her for a moment. "Don't overpromise." "I won't." Janet walked away. Claire sat down. She opened the file. 200 pages of financial data. She'd done this kind of work 100 times before. She could do it in her sleep, but her hands were shaking anyway. Marcus saw her for the first time 3 weeks later. He was walking through the operations floor on his way to a meeting. He walked through once a month, not to talk to anyone, just to be seen. Presence mattered. She was at her desk near the back. Brown hair pulled into a low ponytail. No jewelry except a watch. Reading glasses halfway down her nose. She was focused on her screen, typing quickly. She didn't look up when he passed. Most people did. He noticed that. He kept walking. Claire heard the whispers before she saw him. "That's him. Hale." "Don't stare." She glanced up for half a second. Tall, gray hair, expensive suit. He moved like someone who owned the air around him. Their eyes didn't meet. She went back to her work. She had a deadline. They didn't speak for 2 months. Claire kept her head down. She finished projects early. She stayed late. She didn't make friends. She was there to work. Marcus noticed her name on reports. Morgan. Her analysis was clean. Thorough. No wasted words. She didn't try to impress anyone. She just did the work. He liked that. In late November, Janet got promoted. She moved to a different division. Marcus reviewed the candidates to replace her. Claire's name was on the list. He called HR. Why is Morgan being considered? She's only been here 3 months. She's outperformed everyone in her unit, the HR director said. Janet recommended her personally. Marcus looked at Claire's file again. No photo, just numbers. Performance metrics. Results. Set up an interview, he said. Claire got the email at 4 in the afternoon. Interview scheduled. Monday, 9 a.m. Hale's office. Her stomach dropped. She read it 3 times. She'd never interviewed with a CEO before. She'd barely even seen one up close. She went home that night and didn't sleep well. Monday morning, she arrived at 8:45. She wore her best suit, navy blue, simple. His assistant led her into the office at exactly 9. Marcus was standing at the window again. He turned when she entered. Miss Morgan. Mr. Hale. Sit. She sat. He stayed standing. Some people did that to create a power dynamic. She'd seen it before. You've been here 3 months, he said. Yes. You're applying for a supervisor role. I am. Why? She'd prepared for this question. She had a whole answer ready. Something about growth and leadership and company values. But when she opened her mouth, something else came out. Because I'm good at it. Marcus looked at her. She didn't look away. Most people would have added more. He said, You didn't ask for more. He almost smiled. Almost. He sat down across from her. Tell me about Detroit. She did. She walked him through the cost analysis she'd done in her first week. The projections. The risks. The upside. He didn't interrupt. When she finished, he leaned back in his chair. You recommended we walk away from that deal. I did. We closed it last week. I know. You still think you were right? She hesitated. This was a test. Yes, she said. Why? Because the numbers don't work long term. You'll see profit for 2 years, maybe 3. Then the infrastructure costs will eat the margins. By year 5, you'll be breaking even. By year 7, you'll be losing money. Marcus studied her. You're very confident. I'm very thorough. He stood. You start in 2 weeks. Janet will transition you before she leaves. Claire blinked. I got the job. You just said you're good at it. Prove it. She stood. Thank you. He nodded once. She walked to the door. Miss Morgan. She turned. I don't care if you're right about Detroit, he said. I care that you said it anyway. She didn't know what to say to that. So she just nodded and left. Claire's first day as supervisor was January 3rd. She inherited a team of 9 people. Most of them were older than her. 2 had applied for the same job. She knew it wouldn't be easy. It wasn't. By the end of the first week, one of them had gone to HR to complain about her management style. Another had asked for a transfer. She didn't let it rattle her. She'd been doubted before. Marcus watched the situation from a distance. He didn't interfere. He didn't give advice. He wanted to see how she'd handle it. By the end of the month, her team's output had increased by 18%. The complaints stopped. She'd won them over. Not with charm. Not with speeches. With results. Marcus approved her first budget request without changes. That almost never happened. In February, the company held its annual leadership dinner. Black tie. Downtown hotel. 200 people. Claire hadn't planned to go. She hated events like this. Small talk. Forced smiles. Networking. But Janet told her it wasn't optional. Your management now, she said. You have to show up. So Claire bought a dress. Simple. Black. Nothing flashy. She arrived at 7:30. The ballroom was full of people she didn't know. She found the bar, ordered a glass of wine, stayed near the edges. Marcus saw her from across the room. She looked uncomfortable. Most people at these events tried too hard. They worked the room. They laughed too loud. They wanted to be noticed. She looked like she wanted to disappear. He walked over. Miss Morgan. She turned. Mr. Hale. You look miserable. She almost laughed. I'm terrible at these things. So am I? She looked surprised. You own the company. Doesn't mean I enjoy the parties. They stood there for a moment, not talking, just watching the room. It wasn't awkward. Your team's numbers have been strong, he said. Thank you. You've had pushback. Some. But you didn't quit. She looked at him. I don't quit. He believed her. Good, he said. Someone called his name from across the room. He nodded to her and walked away. Claire watched him go. She felt something. She didn't know what. They started seeing each other more after that. Not intentionally, just more. He'd stop by her floor once a week, ask a question about a project, stay for 2 minutes, leave. She'd send him reports directly instead of going through channels. He'd respond with one-word emails. Approved. Good. Continue. It wasn't friendship. It wasn't anything. But it was something. In March, Claire stayed late to finish a presentation. The office was empty. Just her and the night cleaning crew. She didn't hear him walk up. You're still here. She jumped. Looked up. Marcus was standing by her desk. No suit jacket. Tie loosened. He looked tired. I have a presentation tomorrow, she said. What time? 8. It's almost midnight. I know. He looked at her screen. Is it done? Almost. He pulled up a chair. Show me. She hesitated. You don't have to. Show me. So she did. She walked him through the slides. He asked questions. She answered them. He pointed out 2 weak spots. She fixed them. By 12:30, it was done. Better, he said. Thank you. He stood. Go home, Miss Morgan. You too, Mr. Hale. He almost smiled again. Almost. The presentation went well. The division head called it the best analysis he'd seen all year. Claire forwarded the email to Marcus without comment. He responded 10 minutes later. Told you. She stared at those 2 words for longer than she should have. In April, Marcus had a board meeting that went badly. 2 board members wanted him to sell off a division. He refused. They pushed. He pushed back. It got heated. By the time it ended, he was furious. He went back to his office, slammed the door, stood at the window. His assistant knocked. Not now, he said. She left. He stood there for an hour, watching the city, trying to calm down. He didn't want to go home. His penthouse was 42 floors of silence. He hated it. He grabbed his coat, left the building, started walking. He didn't plan where he was going, but somehow he ended up at a small restaurant 2 blocks from the office, the kind of place with 6 tables and a chalkboard menu. He walked in and saw Claire. She was sitting alone at a corner table, reading a book, a half-eaten sandwich in front of her. She looked up. Their eyes met. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then he walked over. Miss Morgan. Mr. Hale. She closed her book. Are you okay? He wasn't, but he didn't say that. May I sit? She nodded. He sat. They didn't talk for a while. The waiter came. Marcus ordered coffee. Claire ordered tea. Bad day? She asked. Yes. Do you want to talk about it? No. Okay. She went back to her book. He sipped his coffee, and for the first time all day, he felt calm. Many people watching this will recognize this moment, that quiet moment when someone's presence feels like relief, when you don't need words, just company. They sat there for 40 minutes. She read. He watched the street through the window. When she finally stood to leave, he stood too. "Thank you," he said. "For what?" "For not asking questions." She looked at him, really looked at him. "Everyone has bad days, Mr. Hale." "Marcus," he said. She paused. "Claire." He nodded. She left. He sat back down and ordered another coffee. After that, things shifted. Not dramatically, not obviously, but shifted. He started eating lunch at that restaurant twice a week. She was there most of those times. They didn't plan it. They didn't text about it, but they both knew. Sometimes they sat together. Sometimes they didn't. When they did, they talked about work, about projects, about nothing important. It was easy. That was the strange part. It was easy. In May, Claire's ex-husband called. They'd been divorced for 7 years. He lived in Boston now. Remarried. 2 kids. They barely spoke. But he called because their daughter was graduating college. "She wants you there," he said. "Of course I'll be there. Jennifer will be there too." Jennifer, his new wife. "That's fine," Claire said. It wasn't fine. But she said it anyway. She hung up, stared at her phone. Then she went back to work. The graduation was on a Saturday. Claire flew to Boston Friday night. She stayed at a hotel near campus. Didn't tell anyone from work where she was going. She sat in the back row at the ceremony, watched her daughter walk across the stage. Emma, 22 years old, bright, driven, everything Claire had hoped she'd be. After the ceremony, there was a lunch. Emma, Claire, her ex-husband, Jennifer, Jennifer's parents. Claire smiled, made small talk, pretended everything was fine. But she felt like a guest at her own daughter's celebration. When it ended, Emma hugged her. "Thanks for coming, Mom. I wouldn't have missed it." Emma smiled, but she didn't ask Claire to stay for dinner. Claire drove back to the hotel. She sat on the bed, still in her dress, staring at nothing. Her phone buzzed. A text. From Marcus. How did it go? She stared at it. She'd mentioned the graduation in passing 2 weeks ago. She didn't think he'd remember. She typed back. "It was good. She's happy. And you?" She didn't know how to answer that. So she didn't. When Claire got back to Chicago on Sunday night, she felt hollow. She'd done everything right. Raised her daughter. Supported her. Loved her. But somewhere along the way, she'd become a side character in her own child's life. She knew that was normal. Kids grew up. Moved on. But it still hurt. Monday morning, she went to work early. She buried herself in spreadsheets. At 10, her assistant brought her coffee. "Mr. Hale wants to see you," she said. Claire frowned. "Did he say why?" "No." She went upstairs. His assistant waved her in. Marcus was at his desk. He looked up when she entered. "Claire." "Marcus." He stood, walked to the window. "How was Boston?" "Fine." "You're lying." She blinked. "Excuse me?" "You do this thing when you lie. You answer too fast. You don't make eye contact." She didn't know what to say. "I'm not trying to pry," he said. "But if you need a day, take it." "I don't need a day." "Then take one anyway." She looked at him. "Why do you care?" He turned, met her eyes. "I don't know," he said, and the honesty in his voice made her chest tighten. She didn't take the day, but she left early, 6 instead of 8. She went home, poured a glass of wine, sat on her couch, and let herself feel it. The loneliness, the loss, the weight of being 43 and starting over. She didn't cry. She'd stopped crying years ago, but she felt it. If you were in her place, what would you have done? Would you have let someone in or kept the wall up? The next morning, Marcus sent her an email. Subject, no subject. If you need to talk, I'm here. If you don't, that's fine too. Claire read it 5 times. Then she closed her laptop and went back to work. In June, the company won a major contract, a government deal worth $200 million over 5 years. It was the biggest win of the year. Marcus held a celebration in the main conference room. Champagne, catering, a speech about teamwork and vision. Claire stood in the back. She didn't drink. She didn't mingle. She just watched. Marcus found her after the speech. You're not celebrating. I don't like crowds. Neither do I. They stood there, side by side, watching people laugh and toast and take photos. Do you ever get tired of it? She asked. Of what? This. The company. The pressure. The constant performance. He thought about it. Every day, he said. She looked at him. Then why do you do it? Because I don't know what else I'd do. She understood that more than she wanted to admit. In July, Claire's father died. Heart attack. He was 76. They hadn't been close. He'd left when she was 12. Remarried twice. She'd seen him maybe 10 times in the last 20 years. But he was still her father. The funeral was in Ohio. Small. Just family. Claire flew out alone. She sat in the front row, listened to people talk about a man she barely knew. When it was over, she drove back to the airport and broke down in the rental car, not because she missed him, but because she'd spent 30 years waiting for him to show up. And now he never would. She didn't tell anyone at work. She took 2 days off, came back, acted normal. But Marcus noticed. He always noticed. He didn't ask. He didn't push. He just stayed close. He'd stop by her office, ask about a project, stay an extra minute. He'd send her articles he thought she'd like, business journals, analysis pieces, small things. But they mattered. One night in late July, they were both working late again. It was almost 10. The office was empty. Claire walked past his office on her way out. The door was open. He was at his desk, staring at his computer. She knocked lightly. He looked up. Go home, Marcus. I will. When? He smiled. Tired. Soon. She stepped inside. You look exhausted. So do you? I had a reason. My father died. The words came out before she could stop them. Marcus stood. Claire. I'm fine, she said quickly. I didn't tell anyone. I don't know why I told you. He walked around the desk, stood in front of her. When? He asked. 3 weeks ago. And you came back after 2 days. There was nothing else to do. He looked at her, and she saw something in his eyes she hadn't seen before. Sadness. Not pity, just sadness. I'm sorry, he said. It's okay. We were close. That doesn't make it easier. She swallowed. No, it doesn't. They stood there, 3 feet apart, and Claire felt something crack open inside her. I need to go, she said. Claire. Good night, Marcus. She left. He didn't follow, but he stood in the doorway and watched her walk away. Some viewers will agree with her choice here. Others won't. Should she have stayed, or was leaving the right move? After that night, Claire avoided him. Not obviously, not dramatically, but she stopped going to the restaurant. She stopped responding to his emails as quickly. She kept things professional. Cold. Marcus noticed. Of course he noticed. But he didn't push. He'd learned a long time ago that you can't make someone open up. They have to choose it. In August, Claire's daughter called. I got a job, Emma said. In New York. I start in September. That's wonderful, sweetheart. I'm moving next week. Dad's helping me find an apartment. Of course he was. Do you need help? Claire asked. No, we've got it covered. We. Not you. We. Okay, Claire said. Let me know if you change your mind. I will. Love you, Mom. Love you too. She hung up and felt the distance grow a little wider. That weekend, Claire went to the office. Saturday afternoon. No one else there. She sat at her desk, opened a project file, but she couldn't focus. She kept thinking about her daughter, her father, her ex-husband, all the people who'd left, all the ways she'd been left behind. She put her head in her hands. And finally, she let herself cry. Marcus came in an hour later. He worked most Saturdays. Always had. He was walking to his office when he saw the light on in Claire's area. He almost kept walking, but something stopped him. He walked over. She was sitting at her desk, face in her hands, shoulders shaking. He froze. For a moment, he didn't know what to do. Then he walked closer. Claire. She looked up. Her face was red, tear-streaked. I'm sorry, she said quickly. I'll go. Don't. She stopped. He pulled up a chair, sat down. What happened? Nothing. Claire. She wiped her face. My daughter's moving to New York. She doesn't need me. My father's dead, and I can't even miss him properly. And I'm 43 years old sitting in an empty office on a Saturday because I have nowhere else to be. Her voice broke on the last word. Marcus didn't say anything. He just reached across the desk and took her hand. She looked down at their hands, then up at him. I don't know how to do this. She whispered. Do what? Be alone. You're not alone. I am. I have been for years. Not anymore. She pulled her hand back. Marcus, don't. Don't what? Don't be kind to me right now. I can't handle it. He stood. Come on. What? We're leaving. Where are we going? I don't know, but you're not staying here. They ended up at the restaurant. It was empty except for one old couple in the corner. They sat at their usual table, ordered food, didn't eat much of it. Tell me about her, Marcus said. Who? Your daughter. Claire looked at him. Why? Because you never talk about her, and I want to know. So she told him about Emma, about the divorce, about the years she'd spent trying to be both parents, about the guilt, the exhaustion, the fear that she'd failed. Marcus listened. He didn't interrupt, didn't offer solutions. He just listened. When she finished, he said, You didn't fail. You don't know that. She's happy. She's starting her life. That's not failure. Then why does it feel like it? Because letting go always does. Claire looked at him. You sound like you know. I do. Tell me. He hesitated. Then he did. Marcus had been married once, 25 years ago. Her name was Anna. They met in business school, got married at 28, had 10 good years. Then she got sick. Cancer. Aggressive. Stage for by the time they caught it. She fought for 2 years. He was with her every day. He watched her fade, watched her pain, watched her die. And when it was over, he built a wall. He worked. He grew the company. He made millions, then billions. He filled his life with everything except people, because people left. People died, and he couldn't survive that again. Claire listened, her chest tight. I'm sorry, she said. It was a long time ago. Doesn't make it easier. He smiled. Small. Sad. No, it doesn't. They sat in silence for a while. Then Claire said, Is that why you don't date? Yes. Do you miss it? I don't let myself think about it. That's not an answer. He looked at her. Yes, I miss it. She nodded. She understood. They left the restaurant at midnight. Marcus walked her to her car. Thank you, she said. For what? For listening. Anytime. She got in her car, started the engine. Then she rolled down the window. Marcus. Yeah, I miss it too. She drove away before he could respond. After that night, something changed. They stopped pretending. They started having lunch together. On purpose. They'd text in the evenings. Nothing important. Just check-ins. Still working? Always. You? Same. Go home, Claire. You first. It wasn't romance. Not yet. But it was something more than friendship. In September, the company threw a gala. Annual fundraiser for a charity Marcus had founded years ago. Black tie. Ballroom. 500 people. Claire almost didn't go. But Marcus asked her to. I need someone there who won't try to pitch me a business idea, he said. She laughed. Fine. But I'm leaving early. Deal. The gala was at a downtown hotel. Chandeliers. Orchestra. Champagne towers. Claire wore a dark green dress. Simple, but elegant. She arrived at 7:30. Marcus was near the entrance, surrounded by people. He saw her immediately. Their eyes met across the room. He excused himself. Walked over. You came. I said I would. He looked at her. Really looked at her. You look beautiful. She felt her face heat. Thank you. Someone called his name. He sighed. I have to make the rounds, he said. Stay close. I'll try. He walked away. She watched him go and felt that strange pull again. An hour later, Claire was standing by the bar when a man approached. Mid-50s. Expensive suit. Confident smile. You're with Hale Industries, right? Yes. I'm David Brennan. I run Brennan Capital. She shook his hand. Claire Morgan. Are you here with someone? Just a friend. He smiled. Would your friend mind if I asked you to dance? She hesitated. Then she saw Marcus across the room, talking to a woman in red. She was laughing, touching his arm. He wouldn't mind, Claire said. David led her to the dance floor. He was a good dancer. Smooth. Practiced. He talked the whole time. About his business. His yacht. His house in the Hamptons. Claire smiled. Nodded. But she wasn't listening. She was watching Marcus. He'd seen her. She could tell. He was still talking to the woman in red. But his eyes kept finding Claire. When the song ended, David asked, Would you like to get a drink? Actually, She's with me. Claire turned. Marcus was standing behind her. David smiled. I didn't realize. Now you do, Marcus said. His voice was calm, but his eyes weren't. David held up his hands. No offense meant. He walked away. Claire looked at Marcus. That was rude. I don't care. He was just being friendly. He was hitting on you. So, Marcus stepped closer. So, you said you were here with a friend. I am. Then act like it. She stared at him. What are you doing, Marcus? I don't know. You can't just dance with me. What? Dance with me, he said again. She looked around. People were watching. Marcus, please. She'd never heard him say please before. She took his hand. He led her to the dance floor. The orchestra was playing something slow, soft. He put one hand on her waist. She put her hand on his shoulder. They moved together. Neither of them spoke. The music played. The room blurred. And for the first time in years, Claire felt something she'd forgotten existed. Hope. This is where opinions often split. Some will say he waited too long. Some will say it was perfect timing. What do you think? When the song ended, Marcus didn't let go right away. He looked down at her. I need to tell you something. Okay. Not here. Then where? Somewhere quiet. She nodded. They left the ballroom, took the elevator to the rooftop terrace. The city spread out below them, lights everywhere. They stood at the railing. Claire waited. Marcus took a breath. I told myself I wouldn't do this. He said, do what? Feel this way about someone again. Her heart was pounding. And how do you feel? He turned to her, terrified. She almost laughed. That's not exactly romantic. I know, but it's the truth. He stepped closer. You scare me, Claire, because I care about you, and I haven't cared about anyone in 20 years. She couldn't breathe. I don't know how to do this, he said. I don't know if I'm too old, or too broken, or too late, but I had to tell you, because if I don't, I'll regret it for the rest of my life. Claire looked at him, this man who'd built an empire, who controlled boardrooms and commanded millions, standing in front of her, vulnerable, scared, human. You're not too late, she said quietly. I'm not. No. He exhaled. What does that mean? It means I care about you too, and I'm terrified too. He smiled, real and wide. Then he kissed her, soft, careful, like he was afraid she'd disappear. She kissed him back, and for the first time in years, neither of them felt alone. They stood on that rooftop for an hour, talking, holding hands, watching the city. What happens now? She asked. I don't know. You always know. Not this time. She leaned against him. We'll figure it out. Yeah. The next morning, Claire woke up smiling. She couldn't remember the last time that had happened. She made coffee, checked her phone. There was a text from Marcus. Good morning. She smiled. Good morning. Dinner tonight. Yes. 7 o'clock. I'll pick you up. Okay. She put her phone down and let herself feel it. This new, fragile, terrifying thing. But of course, nothing worth having comes easy. At work that Monday, people were talking. They'd seen Marcus and Claire leave together. The whispers started. Did you hear? Hale and Morgan. I knew something was going on. Claire ignored it. But by Wednesday, HR called her in. We've received some concerns, the HR director said. What kind of concerns? About your relationship with Mr. Hale. Claire's stomach dropped. We're not breaking any rules. No, but there are optics to consider. Optics. He's the CEO. You're a supervisor. People are going to talk. Let them talk. The HR director sighed. Claire, I'm not trying to make this difficult. I'm just warning you. This won't be easy. I know. And you're still going to do it. Claire thought about Marcus, about the way he looked at her, about the way she felt when she was with him. Yes, she said, I am. That night, she told Marcus about the meeting. They were at his apartment. First time she'd been there. It was exactly what she expected. Floor-to-ceiling windows, minimalist furniture, everything in shades of gray and white. No photographs, no personal touches, just space. They called you in? He asked. Yes. What did they say? She told him. He set down his wine glass. I'll talk to them. No. Claire. No, Marcus. That'll make it worse. They'll think I'm getting special treatment. You're not. I know that. You know that. But they don't. He stood, paced. So what do? We ignore it. We do our jobs. We don't give them anything to talk about. And if they keep talking anyway, she looked at him. Then they talk. I don't care. You should care. This could affect your career. I know. And you're willing to risk that. She stood, walked over to him. Are you asking me to choose? No. I'm asking if you've thought this through. Have you? He looked at her. Every day since September. And I don't want to lose you, but I don't want to ruin your life either. She took his hand. You're not ruining anything. This is my choice. Claire. My choice, Marcus. not yours. He pulled her close, held her. I'm sorry, he whispered. For what? For making this complicated. Life is complicated. We'll figure it out. But figuring it out was harder than either of them expected. In October, Claire's team got a major project, a merger analysis for a tech company Marcus wanted to acquire. High stakes, tight deadline. She worked 18-hour days. Marcus tried to see her. She kept canceling, not because she wanted to, because she had to prove herself. She couldn't let anyone think she was getting help because of him. One night, Marcus showed up at her apartment. She answered the door in sweatpants and a t-shirt, hair in a messy bun, dark circles under her eyes. What are you doing here? She asked. You've canceled on me 5 times. I'm working. You're always working. So are you. He stepped inside. Claire, talk to me. I am talking to you. No, you're shutting me out. She closed the door. I'm not. Yes, you are. You've been doing it for 3 weeks. She felt the exhaustion crash over her. I can't do this right now. Do what? This. Us. I have a presentation in 2 days, and I'm not ready, and everyone at work is watching me, and... Her voice broke. Marcus pulled her into his arms. She let herself lean against him. Just for a moment. I'm scared, she whispered. Of what? That I'm going to fail. That everyone's going to think I only got this because of you. That I'm going to prove them right. He pulled back, looked at her. You got that project before we were together. I know. You're the best analyst in the company. I know. Then why are you doing this to yourself? Because I have to. Because if I don't work twice as hard, they'll say I'm riding your coattails. And I can't, she swallowed. I can't be that person. He understood. Of course he understood. Okay, he said. Okay. Finish the project. Then we'll talk. Marcus. He kissed her forehead. I'm not going anywhere, Claire. Take the time you need. He left. She stood in her empty apartment and wondered if she was making a mistake. The presentation was on a Thursday. Claire walked into the conference room at 8 a.m. 12 executives. Marcus wasn't there. She'd asked him not to come. She set up her slides, took a breath, and delivered the best presentation of her career. She walked them through every number, every risk, every opportunity. When she finished, the room was silent. Then the CFO started clapping. Everyone joined in. Excellent work, Ms. Morgan, he said. She nodded. Thank you. They approved the merger. All terms. No changes. Claire walked out of that conference room, feeling like she could breathe for the first time in weeks. She went straight to Marcus's office. His assistant waved her in. He looked up from his desk. How did it go? She smiled. They approved it. He stood, walked around the desk. I knew they would. You weren't there. You asked me not to be. I know, but thank you. For what? For respecting that. He pulled her close. I told you, I'm not going anywhere. She wrapped her arms around him and finally let herself believe it. That weekend, they went away, just the two of them. A small cabin 2 hours north, on a lake. No phones, no work, no expectations. They spent Saturday morning in bed, talking, laughing, learning each other. Marcus told her about his childhood, growing up poor in Detroit, working 3 jobs to pay for college. Claire told him about her marriage, how it had slowly fallen apart, how she'd stayed too long because she was afraid to be alone. They didn't hide from each other. They just were. On Saturday afternoon, they took a walk around the lake. The leaves were changing, red and gold and orange. I never do this, Marcus said. Do what? take time off. Just exist. Neither do I. They walked in comfortable silence. Then Marcus said, I need to tell you something. Claire's stomach tightened. Okay. The board's been pressuring me to step down. She stopped walking. What? They think I'm too old. They want someone younger. Someone with new ideas. That's ridiculous. Maybe not. Marcus, I've been thinking about it. He said, about what I'd do if I did step down. And he looked at her. I don't know. That's what scares me. She took his hand. You don't have to decide now. But I do. They want an answer by January. What do you want? He was quiet for a long time. I want a life, he said finally. I want to wake up and not think about quarterly earnings. I want to travel. I want to spend time with you. He trailed off. What? I want to be happy. She felt tears prick her eyes. Then do it. It's not that simple. Why not? Because that company is all I have. No, she said. It's not. He looked at her. She stepped closer. You have me. And I know that's new and scary and uncertain. But it's real. And it's not going anywhere. He kissed her, soft and deep, and full of something that felt like hope. They spent the rest of the weekend pretending the world didn't exist. But on Sunday night, driving back to the city, reality crept back in. What happens now? Claire asked. I talked to the board. And then, I don't know. She reached over, took his hand. Whatever you decide, she said. I'm with you. He squeezed her hand and drove them home. In November, Marcus made his decision. He called a board meeting, told them he'd step down, but not immediately. He'd stay through the transition, help choose his replacement, make sure the company was stable. They agreed. The announcement went out 2 days later. The stock dropped 3%, then stabilized. The business world moved on. Claire read the announcement in her office. She'd known it was coming, but seeing it in writing made it real. She called him. Are you okay? She asked. I don't know yet. Do you regret it? Ask me in 6 months. She smiled. Okay. I'm coming down. To my office? Yes. People will talk. Let them. He hung up. 5 minutes later, he walked into her office, closed the door. I need to ask you something, he said. Okay. When I step down, I'm leaving the company. Completely. I know. Which means we won't work together anymore. I know that too. So there's no conflict of interest. Right. He took a breath. Move in with me. Claire blinked. What? Move in with me. I know it's fast. I know it's crazy. But I don't want to waste any more time. Marcus, I'm 53 years old. Claire, I spent 20 years alone because I was afraid. I'm not afraid anymore. Not of this. She stared at him. Her heart was racing. Say something, he said. You're serious. Completely. We've only been together 2 months. I know. People will think we're insane. Probably. She laughed. You're really not afraid. Terrified. But I'm doing it anyway. She walked over to him. Ask me again in January. Why? Because I need to finish my projects. Train my replacement. Do this right. You're leaving too? Eventually. Maybe. I don't know yet. She touched his face. But yes, when the time is right, I'll move in with you. He smiled. Yeah. He kissed her. And for the first time in decades, both of them could see a future that didn't involve spreadsheets and conference rooms. December was chaos. Marcus was transitioning out. Claire was managing 3 major projects. They barely saw each other, but every night, no matter how late, they'd text. Still alive? Barely. You? Same. Miss you. Miss you too. Soon. Soon. Christmas came. Claire's daughter invited her to New York. Just for a day, Emma said. Dad's not going to be there. Claire hesitated. Are you sure? Mom, come. So she went. Emma's apartment was small, messy, perfect. They spent the afternoon cooking, drinking wine, talking, real talking, not just surface level catching up. You seem different, Emma said. Different how? Happier. Claire smiled. I am. Is it work? No, it's... She paused. I'm seeing someone. Emma's eyes widened. What? Who? His name is Marcus. We work together. How long? 3 months. And you're just telling me now? I wasn't sure what it was. And now, Claire looked at her daughter. Now I'm sure. Emma hugged her. I'm happy for you, Mom. Yeah. You deserve this. Claire held her daughter and felt something shift. Not a reconciliation, not a fix, just movement. Forward. She told Marcus about it that night. They were on the phone. He was at his apartment. She was at her hotel. She said, I deserve this. Claire said, you do. I don't know if I believe that. Why not? Because I spent so many years just surviving. I forgot what it felt like to actually want something. And now I want you. She heard him exhale. I love you, Claire. The words hung in the air. She closed her eyes. Say it again. I love you. I love you too. It was the first time either of them had said it. New Year's Eve, Marcus threw a small party. Just close friends. 20 people. Claire met them all. They were kind, welcoming, curious. At midnight, Marcus pulled her onto the terrace. They watched fireworks over the city. New Year, he said. New life, she said. He kissed her. And when they pulled apart, he smiled. Move in with me. She laughed. You already asked. I'm asking again. It's still January. Barely. She looked at him. This man who changed everything. Okay. Yes, I'll move in with you. He picked her up, spun her around. She laughed and felt something she hadn't felt in years. Free. In February, Marcus officially stepped down. There was a ceremony, speeches, a plaque. He smiled, shook hands, said the right things. But when it was over, he walked out of that building and didn't look back. Claire was waiting outside. How do you feel? She asked. Lighter. Good. They walked to his car. Where do you want to go? He asked. Anywhere. Anywhere. As long as it's with you. He drove them out of the city. They ended up at the lake cabin. Stayed for a week. No plans. No schedule. No pressure. Just them. In March, Claire gave her notice. She'd been thinking about it for months. She loved the work, but she didn't love the company anymore. She wanted something different. Marcus asked what she wanted to do. I don't know yet, she said, but I'll figure it out. No rush. You're not worried I'll just become a trophy girlfriend. He laughed. You? Never. She smiled and started planning her next chapter. In April, they went to Europe. 3 weeks. 5 countries. They ate good food. Walked old streets. Stayed in small hotels. In Paris, Marcus asked her to marry him. They were on a bridge at sunset. The Seine was golden. He didn't get on one knee, didn't make a speech. He just took her hand. Marry me? He said. Claire looked at him. Really? Really? We've only been together 8 months. I know. People will think we're rushing. Probably. Marcus, I don't care what people think. I know what I want, and I want you for the rest of my life. She felt tears on her cheeks. Yes, yes, yes. He kissed her. and the world disappeared. They got married in June. Small ceremony. Just family and close friends. Emma came. She brought her boyfriend. She hugged Marcus. Take care of my mom. I will. I'm serious. She acts tough, but she's not. I know. Emma smiled. Good. The ceremony was outside, under oak trees. Claire wore a simple white dress. Marcus wore a gray suit. They wrote their own vows. Marcus went first. I spent 20 years building walls, he said. I told myself I was protecting myself. But I was just hiding. Then you walked into my life. And you didn't break down the walls. You didn't demand anything. You just stood there. Patient, kind, real. And eventually, I couldn't hide anymore. You saw me, the broken parts, the scared parts, and you stayed. Anyway, I don't know what I did to deserve you, but I promise I'll spend the rest of my life proving I'm worth it. I love you, Claire. Claire took a breath. I spent most of my life afraid, she said, afraid of failing, afraid of being alone, afraid of wanting too much. Then I met you, and you didn't fix me. You didn't rescue me. You just saw me, really saw me, and you didn't run. You didn't judge. You just stayed. And slowly, I realized I wasn't afraid anymore. Because with you, I'm not alone. I'm not too much or not enough. I'm just me. And that's okay. I love you, Marcus, for exactly who you are, and for exactly who you helped me be. There wasn't a dry eye in the crowd. At the reception, they danced. Slow. Close. Perfect. Happy, he asked. So happy. No regrets. Not one. He pulled her closer. Good. Because you're stuck with me now. She laughed. I can live with that. In July, Claire started a consulting business. She worked with small companies, helped them with growth strategy, financial planning. She loved it. The freedom, the variety, the impact. Marcus supported her completely. He'd started doing board work, mentoring young entrepreneurs. They were both building new lives. Together. In September, Claire's father-in-law had a heart attack. He survived, but it was serious. Marcus flew to see him immediately. Claire went with him. They sat in the hospital for 3 days. On the third day, the old man woke up. He looked at Marcus. You got married. I did, without telling me. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Just bring her here. Marcus waved Claire over. She sat beside the bed. The old man looked at her. You love him? Very much. Good. He needs someone who'll keep him honest. She smiled. I'll do my best. That's all anyone can do. He squeezed her hand. Then he looked at Marcus. I'm proud of you, son. Marcus's eyes filled with tears. Thank you. You finally figured it out. Figure what out? That life isn't about winning. It's about living. Marcus nodded. He held his father's hand until the old man fell asleep. That night, in the hotel, Marcus broke down. Claire held him. He's going to be okay, she said. I know, but I almost lost him. And I realized I spent so many years focused on work that I missed everything else. All the moments that actually matter. You didn't miss this one. Only because of you. She kissed his forehead. We found each other. That's what matters. Yeah. In October, Emma got engaged. She called Claire with the news. His name is James. He's a teacher. He's kind. You'll love him. I'm sure I will. Will you help me plan the wedding? Claire felt her chest tighten. You want me to help? Of course, Mom. Who else would I ask? I just thought, your stepmom. Mom. Stop. You're my mom. Not her. You. Claire wiped her eyes. I'd love to help. Good. Because I need you. I love you, Emma. I love you too. The wedding planning brought them closer. They talked every week, met for lunch, went dress shopping together. Emma asked Claire to give a speech at the wedding. Claire said yes. The wedding was in May, a year after Claire and Marcus had married. Claire stood at the microphone, looked at her daughter. When Emma was little, she said, she used to ask me how you know when you found the right person. I told her, you just know. But the truth is, I didn't know. Not then. I'd been married and divorced. I'd spent years alone. I thought I'd miss my chance. Then I met someone who changed everything, who showed me that it's never too late, that love isn't about perfect timing or perfect circumstances. It's about choosing someone every day. Emma, you've chosen well. James, you've chosen well. And I'm so grateful I get to see you both build the life you deserve. There wasn't a dry eye in the room. Emma hugged her mother. Thank you, she whispered. For what? For showing me what real love looks like. That night, Claire and Marcus danced at Emma's wedding. You did good, Mom, he said. She smiled. I'm learning. We both are. Think we'll ever figure it out? No, but that's okay. She laughed. Yeah, it is. In June, they went back to the lake cabin. 5 years after Marcus had made his decision, they sat on the dock, feet in the water, watching the sunset. Do you regret it? Claire asked. Regret what? Leaving. The company. Everything you built. He thought about it. No, he said. I don't. Not even a little. Not even a little. He looked at her. I spent 20 years building something that meant nothing. Now I'm building something that means everything. What's that? A life with you. She leaned against him. I love you, she said. I love you too. They sat there until the stars came out. Two people who'd spent years alone, who'd built walls to protect themselves, who'd almost missed each other completely, but didn't, because sometimes the best love stories aren't about finding the right person at the right time. They're about finding the right person when you're finally ready, when you're brave enough to try again, when you're willing to risk everything for something real. Marcus and Claire didn't have a perfect love story. They had a real one, full of doubt, fear, mistakes, growth, but also joy, peace, partnership, home. And in the end, that was more than enough. If you were in their position, would you have taken the risk? Would you have given love another chance after so much loss? Many people watching this will have faced the same choice. Some said yes. Some said no. Neither is wrong. But for Marcus and Claire, saying yes changed everything. 5 years later, they still lived in the city, but they spent weekends at the lake. They traveled. They worked on projects they cared about. They hosted dinners for Emma and James and their baby girl. They built a life. Not a perfect one, but a good one. A real one. And every morning, when Marcus woke up next to Claire, he was grateful. Grateful he'd taken the risk. Grateful he'd said yes. Grateful he'd found someone who saw him, truly saw him, and stayed. On their 6th anniversary, they went back to Paris, stood on the same bridge where he'd proposed. Still happy? He asked. So happy. No regrets. Not one. He pulled her close. Good, because I'm not done with you yet. She laughed. How much time do you think we have left? I don't know, but I plan to use every second. Me too. They kissed, and the world disappeared again, just like it had 6 years ago, just like it would for years to come. Because that's the thing about real love. It doesn't solve everything. It doesn't fix you or complete you or make life perfect. But it makes life worth living. It makes the hard days bearable and the good days beautiful. It gives you someone to come home to, someone to build with, someone to choose. Every single day. Marcus Hale had spent 52 years believing love was a weakness, a risk he couldn't afford. Then he met Claire Morgan, and she taught him that love wasn't the risk. Living without it was. Many people watching this will recognize themselves in this story. The fear, the walls, the second chances. If you've ever been afraid to try again, this was for you. If you've ever thought it was too late, this was for you. And if you're still deciding whether to take the risk, maybe this will help you choose. Thank you for listening. The end.